Speaking with authority may cause malfunction. Not malfunction within you, but malfunction within other people, within people around you that have witness to your elevation. What do I mean by that? Let's dive into today's episode. I am Tamara Tamu. I am your favorite host of the Unleashed Alchemy show. Thank you so much for being here. So let's just jump right into this. So listen, here's what I need to tell you first. You need to know that seeing yourself through your own sovereign lens, it causes you to view yourself, to view your body, to view your internal environment, and to view your entire life on the external in an elevated way. Okay? Why? Because when you are living your life through your sovereign lens, you have reconnected with your creative genius. You have reconnected with your magical expression. And what is your magical expression? Your magical expression encompasses the truth of you. It encompasses your wholeness. It encompasses your completeness and who you are through your sovereign lens. Okay. So with that, there is no comparison. There is no doubt in who you are. There is no lack in your world. Do you understand that? So what is in your world? When you're viewing your entire world through your sovereign lens, there is prosperity of all things good and perfect. There is abundance of all things good and perfect. There is wisdom. There's confidence, and there is alchemy that you hold, that you encompass. All right. Also, because of your sovereign lens in which you choose to view yourself through, you will also notice your speech changing. Now, let's get into this. The words that you use, they become more intentional, okay? Because you know that with every single word that you speak, you make a declaration. With every single word you speak, you know it is a confirmation. With every single word that you speak, you set a standard. You set a new standard with every single word that you speak. Okay? Now, your speech also becomes fueled with authority. Not authority in a way where you are overpowering someone, but authority in who you are as a sovereign being. Okay? You came here to understand and to know that your breath carries a frequency that is as powerful as the wind. And that's how you begin to speak. You speak with surety. When you speak with the vision that your soul gives you. You're not watering down anything. You're not trying to make your vision fit into a box. You're not trying to make your vision sound more realistic. Okay? So instead of you speaking in a way that is familiar, all right, your words start to cut through programming. And this is where the disruption comes in. This is where the malfunction comes in. Okay. So your words begin to cut through programming. So what do I mean by this? So let's keep going. So when you embrace elevation, right, you start to notice that the stories that you believed, you only believe them because it was popular to do so. Not because you believe the stories, and not even because the stories were true. They were just popular. All right. Now, listen, many of these stories, they get adopted, they get handed down because these are stories that from family programming. These are stories from societal programming. And of course, we have stories from religion that are rooted in religious programming. Okay. And what happens is these stories, they become a part of your life because you were programmed to make these stories a part of how you live. So then you started to operate based on those program stories. All right. Without you even questioning them. So let me just give you an example. Now, I'm going to do something different. I'm not going to give you a religious programmed example. I'm going to give you more of a societal program story. Okay. This is one we can all relate to. So you were programmed to believe that in order for you to have money, in order for you to have a medium of exchange to live in this physical world, which is necessary, a medium of exchange is how we live life. Okay. You were programmed to believe that you had to go out and trade your time for $1, that you had to go out and give your life force energy to something else, whether you liked it or not, in order to have money. And you were told that this method of getting money, it was the only way, and it was the only for sure way to get money. Okay? To the point where you chose not to attempt something else because of this program story. You were afraid to do so. That was me. That's why I share the story with you. And I am sure that you can relate to that. All right. So that's just one example. Now, you allowing your sovereign being to be fully expressed is going to disrupt stories like the one I just gave you. And it's going to disrupt all program stories. And it's going to disrupt the people who still live by them. All right. So you have to understand that every time you speak with intention and with authority, what you're even doing for yourself, you are waking up and shaking up your own intuition, which means you have now made yourself a powerful conduit, a powerful portal to receive wisdom from beyond, because that's what intuition connects you with. From wisdom, from beyond and below. All right. So from time to time, I'm throwing this in there. I may do a separate video about this portion, but from time to time, because you've allowed yourself to embrace that you are this conduit to receive wisdom from beyond, to receive things and to know things, and you're wondering, how do I know these things? I just know them. That is your intuition speaking. That is, you have opened up the mysteries within you because you've chosen to step into your sovereignty, to embrace your sovereignty, and to speak with intention and authority. Okay. So from time to time, you'll be speaking messages, knowing that they have power, that they hold power, and those messages are for you. Sometimes they could be for you and for other people, but that is where your intuition comes in to know, okay, this message is for you and this message is for you and other people. Again, that's another episode for another day. But you can look at that as channeling. Okay, you have messages coming through, wisdom coming through, because you have chosen to be in your sovereign. That's what happens. So these messages that come into you, that are awakened, I should say, within you, they're coming from your soul. All right. And yet at the same time, your natural mind will probably be wondering, I don't know how I know this. I don't know how I know what I know, but I know that this is true. This feels true. Okay. I needed to throw that in there. So you and your sovereign expression will be very disruptive. Okay. And people may say things about you, such as, I'll give you a few examples. They may say things like, oh, you're full of yourself. You're not being realistic. Well, this is just not how things are done. You just have to follow the process. You can't just break tradition. You think you're better than us now? Well, I had to do it this way. What makes you think you can change how things are? Well, this is what I've always believed. This is what I've always done. I want to share with you this example. The reason why I am presenting the power of your words as a sovereign being in this way and how it affects how you are presented, how you are expressed, and how you speak on things is because if you, whether you're a fan or not, it doesn't matter. But Cat Williams, you can clearly see that he is still going through this elevation. His consciousness is out there. He is connected. Now, I know that I've heard him use the term God. I don't use God because it's attached to too much drama. It's too emotionally loaded for a bunch of reasons. But anyway, you can clearly see that he has had awakenings and continues to have awakenings. And what he always makes a point to say, what I've noticed, is that he always points to and alludes to his spiritual elevation. And he says spiritual elevation has nothing to do with religion. He talks about his spiritual consciousness, his elevated consciousness. And he talks about being immersed in that and being embraced in that, allowing that spiritual awakening to embrace him and he embrace it. And so now when he speaks with authority. And I've noticed that people have said, oh, I used to think he was funny and now he's just too much into himself. I've heard people say that and things like that. Okay. I won't go into all the things that I've seen people say about him, but that is an example of a person who is choosing to not live by stories just because they're popular. He is choosing not to live by programmed ideas just because they're popular. He has chosen to embrace the fact that he is sovereign, and he is allowing himself to be a conduit to expose what needs to be exposed. And again, this is not about whether you like him or not. I don't care. But I'm using him as an example to drive this point that I'm making in this episode home. All right. So now, what do you do? What do you do when you are living your life and you can feel this elevation happening with you internally? And you may be around and in close proximity to people who are still choosing to embrace their programming, which is fine. It has nothing to do with you. So what do? You make a decision. You make a decision. You make a decision to do what? To stand firm in your sovereign expression, to stand firm like the strongest tree that's planted by streams and rivers of water. Allow that water, imagine that water, your roots going down, and imagine your roots being fed with water, fed with abundance, abundance of wisdom, abundance of messages, abundance of guidance on how to move on this physical plane as a sovereign being. Imagine those rivers of water, or rivers of water. Imagine those streams, or imagine those rivers feeding your roots with messages from beyond. That's what you make a decision to do. You stand firm. All right. You also make a decision to thrive, just like you are supposed to. You make a decision to thrive, to be in the fullness of who you came here to be. Not just a little, not the version that is acceptable, but the you of you that is powerful, that can see beyond what's in front of them. You make a decision to thrive in that, like you're supposed to. You make a decision to speak, to continue to speak with authority. You make a decision to know and to accept that your breath is as strong as the wind. You make a decision to continue to receive wisdom from beyond, wisdom that you can integrate into your life every single day. Those are the decisions that you make. I'm sharing those decisions with you because I make those decisions every day. You make a decision. That's what you do. Okay? So don't forget, one-on-one sessions are still available with me. You can go to unleashedalchemy.com to get information on what's included in the one-on-one session and how to sign up for the package. It's a one-on-one. Let me make this clear. These are not one-off sessions. This is a one-to-one package where you receive 24 sessions with me. All right. Again, go to unleashedalchemy.com. All the details are there and how to sign up is there. I also have individual courses that will help you. If we go back to this episode, they will support you in standing firm in your sovereign power. Okay. I also have ebooks that will help you do the same. Also be on the lookout. I will be announcing this soon. I have products that I will be launching that I'm very excited about. Okay. I'm adding products to the Unleashed Alchemy empire. All right. So get ready for that. Be on the lookout for that. And let me know what your takeaways are from this episode, whether you're watching on YouTube. Leave a message for me in the comments. If you are listening to this on your favorite podcasting platform, give me a rating. Okay. Share this podcast with everyone. Well, not everybody, but share this podcast with somebody that you know that needs this message today. All right. And until next time, speak with authority and be sovereign.